they've immediately, in their mission statement, said that everybody can be right. Truth is relative. Truth is whatever you want it to be. And we have to respect that other people can be right. That flies in the face of what Christians believe. Welcome to this episode of Paideia Ponderings. I'm Dr. David Stanton, Headmaster at Oakdale Academy. I want to talk today about some of the issues surrounding this very famous and very attractive movement called the International Baccalaureate program, or the IB program. You know, simply put, this is it's a shiny movement in education, and it is dangerous to America. You know, generally speaking, IB is a set of curriculum, it's some standards that it truly goes against the traditional Judeo-Christian standards that we in classical Christian education schools hold dear. And this isn't surprising. We live in an age where so many children and adults reject our culture. They reject the moral code that comes with Judeo-Christian standards, and they reject anything that speaks about or talks about the past or about tradition, about heritage. I found an article recently by Emmett McGroarty, who is the executive director of Preserve Innocence, which is an initiative of a group known as the American Principles Project. He talks about how the International Baccalaureate, the IB movement, is funded by an organization many of my listeners may recognize, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, better known as UNESCO. You know, in 2002, the IB organization even itself noted that the goal of IB is not about knowledge or not about thinking skills, but to develop, and listen carefully, global citizens. Sounds great, doesn't it? Why wouldn't we want our students to be able to live in this new global age? We're told every day that the world is getting smaller. Well, let me tell you, McGroarty further explains that IB supports something known as the Earth Charter. Now, the Earth Charter advocates a redistribution of wealth among and within nations. It advocates for population controls. Read into that what you want, but I certainly read into it abortion, I read into it assisted suicide, and so many other things. It also, in the Earth Charter, advocates for military disarmament. Now, these, according to the Earth Charter, would be instituted and done through legally binding documents among nations. The former deputy director of IB, a man named Ian Hill himself, even said that the IB, quote, endorses the Earth Charter and suggests many topics that promote it. So read into that. Schools that are IB World Schools, that have the IB Young Years, the IB Middle Years, or the IB program itself, support this Earth Charter. Support the redistribution of wealth within and among nations. Support population control. Support military disarmament. They're eating away at the sovereignty of nations. Now, fortunately, there was enough of an uproar that IB withdrew its endorsement, for now at least. You know, at its base, IB teaches students that national sovereignty has to yield to solving global problems. What does that mean? Forget any concept of our inherent and accepted freedoms as Americans. Our traditions, our American heritage, are not ones of globalism. They're rooted in Judeo-Christian makeup that our founding fathers held, and I argue they are not for sale, nor should they be up for debate. In contrast to what our founding fathers stood for, in contrast to what our American traditions stand for, the mission statement of the International Baccalaureate Organization, the IBO, is this, quote, the IBO aims to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through the intercultural understanding and respect. To this end, the IBO works with schools, governments, and international organizations to develop challenging programs of international education and rigorous assessment. These programs encourage students across the world to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners. Listen carefully here, who understand that other people, with their differences, can also be right. They've immediately, in their mission statement, said that everybody can be right. Truth is relative. Truth is whatever you want it to be. And we have to respect that other people can be right. That flies in the face of what Christians believe. It flies in the face of just our traditions as an American nation. Let me contrast that with the mission statement at Oakdale Academy. Our mission is to instill character, truth, and wisdom in our students. Not so that they can see that other people are right, but we do that so that they can be prepared for a life of service to God, family, community, and country through classical Christian education. Quite a difference, isn't it? In classical Christian schools, we want students that are humble and are searching for truth within the context of a biblical worldview. Now, many people would argue and charge that we are just indoctrinating our students. We've even had some Facebook replies and comments to some things that we post here at Oakdale about character, truth, and wisdom, saying indoctrinating, gross, or things along those lines that accuse us of indoctrinating our students. Well, let me clear the air. We are. I happily answer, we are. However, we give our students the information and we impart our knowledge to them. They each have a choice to make, whether they accept or reject the worldview that we present, which is rooted in a statement of faith, which is rooted in the God of the Bible. They have that decision to make, just as each of us has a decision to make whether we accept the free salvation of Jesus Christ or not. In classical Christian education at Oakdale Academy, we reject this postmodern idea, this social relativism. We reject it for the truth of Scripture and the loving God who created us. We embrace our Judeo-Christian heritage and we recognize the blessings of liberty God gave to the United States. We look not to build global citizens, but citizens of God's kingdom who serve that God, who serve their families, their community, and our great nation. Have any questions, any thoughts, any comments? I encourage you to send an email to info@oakdaleacademy.com. And if you live in the Metro Detroit area and are looking to learn about classical Christian education and what that could mean to your child, feel free to contact us. You can use the email admissions@oakdaleacademy.com. I just want to continue to thank you for your prayers for classical Christian education, our movement for Oakdale Academy in particular, as we look to return school and education to the way things used to be and the way things should be. Thank you as always for listening and for your support. I'm Dr. David Stanton, Headmaster at Oakdale Academy.